This lesson is for the designer class to encourage them to make papers with text on it. Here is a paper that I made, and I must say that I don't like it. I've really struggled with it. I think part of it is the font that I chose to use. You have to remember to use copyright friendly fonts, and I only have some purchased ones. I haven't had time to go out there, and I'm so busy doing things for the forum, I haven't had time to go out there and collect other copyright friendly fonts for my own use. But the other thing is that I just, as I said in this class description, I don't feel like I'm artistic. Photoshop Elements often makes me artistic when I can move the sliders back and forth. And so you're going to have to bring forth from within you that creativity and that artisticness to get these papers to be really cool and something that people really want to use. I can teach you some techniques, I can give you some tips and some encouragement and inspiration, but I can't really teach you how to make an awesome paper here. You're going to have to get that from yourself. You'll notice I used the same layer and I repeated the text, and then I resized it. Sometimes I resized it up and down, sometimes lengthwise. I turned some of them upside down, I turned some of them upright, vertical. I just randomly put things all over the paper. I also made this paper in a neutral color so that it could be used and recolored easily for a variety of layouts. I also used the words light a candle because I was trying to think of something that was versatile that could be used for lots of pages. These are all things you need to consider when you are designing. Light a candle could be used for birthdays, or a unity candle for a wedding, or maybe a candlelight vigil, or New Year's Eve, or Christmas, or there are so many events that it seems when people use candles, and candles are just fun to photograph too. And so I thought hopefully this was a versatile piece of paper that somebody might be able to use. Now here's another paper I made, and it just says prom night because I was trying to think of something where I can use the paper for my own benefit. And I actually think this is not the original. It's too bright. For me, I had lowered the opacity. I've backwards and forwards data this so many times. So I think it was actually much lighter, and I lowered the opacity. And in this one I just repeated the same text across it, and I'll give you some actual tips on how to do that here shortly. But meanwhile, I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to turn on this. I have made a list of some inspiration, some thoughts on making good paper with text on it. First, you want to be unique. Be unique. Don't be like everybody else. Think of something outside of the box. Text is text. It can seem like a boring thing, but it can be, some of my favorite papers with designers that are artistic are those with text on them, and so they can be more than just a regular piece of paper. Find words that move you. Go look at lyrics or poems, and pull out a few set of words, something that moves you, because if it moves you and stirs your spirit, it's probably going to do that the people wanting to buy your designs. And so that's something, choice of words is very important. Do not just repeat the words on the paper. like I just did with the prom night. I mean, you can do that. It's okay. But you're not going to be unique and out of the box and different if you just do that with every one of them. We've already talked about using copyright-friendly fonts, and I think there's a list in the forum somewhere, maybe in the designer class area, where people share copyright-friendly fonts. And if you have any to add, we certainly welcome you to find that thread and share, because that's what's great about learning to design. You can make a variety of phrases, like I just repeated the same few words over and over. You don't have to just repeat the same words. You could use a different word for each little bit that you put on your paper. Use a variety of sizes. As I did with mine, you know, you can make some smaller and some larger, like I did in the candle one. You can make your words taller, not just wider. Remember that you can resize by using the move tool and grabbing the handles. Like, for instance, if I wanted to resize this box here, I could grab this handle here and make my text taller, not just wider. I'm not going to save that though. So really tall text can be fun. Words can run diagonal and vertical, as I did in that candle one. So you can turn your words. You can you know, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, any kind of upside down like I did. You can do, remember, don't just be straight. It's good to be straight and normal sometimes, but it's not very artistic. Stagger your words on each line. So I'm going to show you that. I did that on the prom night. In fact, I can show you that here right now if I can get that to come back up. In other words, this line is starting at a different point. Actually, I repeated every three, so you can see this one and this one are the same. So they're starting at a different position. They're staggered. They're not just a row of prom night here and a row of prom night there. Most of the time that is not pleasing to the eye. Words can follow curves, so if you have the full version of Photoshop and you know how to do curves, or if you buy some commercial use curves, remember that you can make them really cool if you do that. Maybe a curve that's a circle, you could put a bunch of circles of words on there. That would be fun. Now see, that's what I should have done. Turn words upside down. I did that. It's not necessary to cover the entire paper like I was trying to do. Remember, even if you're using the isolation principle in design, you know, maybe if you just put all your words right here and left the rest of it grungy up there, and that would allow everybody to be able to utilize this area for photos. You don't have to cover every single spot. What's next? Use the eraser brushes to grunge up the words. We're going to review that here. I actually did that on my candle paper. Use blending modes and on various layers. I did that. Use layer masks so you can fade. You know, in course 2 we have a lot of lessons using the layer masks to blend things. You might want to go back and review those tutorials. Simplify and Control G with textures. That's not always good because you don't want each text layer to have a different text. Often it's better to have your texture to be the top layer so it applies to all of your text at the same time. It does sometimes look funny if you put the texture right here on this is a simplified text layer right here, and I could group that with a paper such as this one. Oh, it's 0 opacity, that's why. So here's one, and I could do Control G, and you know, you can't really tell with this particular case because this is a friendly texture. But doing that sometimes and having it a different one for each text and one that doesn't blend in as well. There, now you can see how that just doesn't, it looks like the letters are on top of the paper, not not blending in with the paper. Does that make sense? Well, whenever I see that, it just kind of bugs me. Sometimes it can be pulled off, so remember, you can do it. Apply textures and brushworks overlaying all layers, which is what I said, rather than this one here and grouping it. You would want to apply it on all layers, so it goes with it's applied to the text layer as well as the background layers, and see, it blends so much better and it looks like it's part of the paper. That's a much better option. Let's go and look at a few things that you can actually do. I have here one of the original text layers, and you can put this at the top and position it however you want and press Control J to duplicate it, and I think I did it 3 times. This is how I did this, and then I moved it, this one here, and I moved this one here, and then I think I took all 3 of them and I did a distribute by vertical centers. You saw that middle one move down a little bit, so they're all now spaced evenly. And then I right clicked and simplified them, and of course remember I had an extra one down here to save. Then I right clicked and I merged those layers, so now I have the now I have this one layer with the 3 rows. And next I duplicated it, and I think it was 5, I guessed. 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and you grab one of them, just one of them, and pull them to the bottom. Then you can highlight all of them, and hopefully you know these skills already. I'm using my Shift and my Control key to click on the top and the bottom, and it selects all of them. And then I can do the distribute. This is if you're on the Move tool. The distribute vertical centers, horizontal, nope, vertical centers, and it didn't quite work. I got something off here. Well, it did it right away before, of course. It won't work for the tutorial, but it will work for when you all aren't watching. Where's the one that's off? And I'm gonna just move this down here. Nope, this one. Okay, you know, things just never work out right when you want them to. I'm telling you, it worked like instantaneously when I did it. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong now. Look, my background paper is moving. I don't know, let's see what happens when we distribute vertical centers. It still didn't work. Anyway, It's supposed to work, and I'm spending too much time trying to get this to work for this tutorial. I probably had grabbed a layer that had an extra layer in it. Could be that I don't have enough layers. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what went wrong with that. Distribute vertical centers, and that threw it off. Distribute, whoops. Let's try it again. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. But anyway, so you've got your text. And when you do that, it's going to work right for you. And I can then take all of these and merge them all together so I have one paper. Or you can, oh, I see, I know what I did wrong. I included that other one from the, yeah, that's why it wasn't working. I had my other original one there. But then you can apply an overlay of some kind. I think screen is what I did. You just try them all till something's right. Lower the opacity. And then another idea you can do is to get your eraser brushes. Get some brush, it doesn't matter what brush, that looks sort of grungy. Don't start with the high opacity, start with a lower one and just go in here and start erasing and kind of grunging up the words. You see how it's this word here is now got some lighter parts and grunge to the, you can just go and randomly hit. I'm clicking down. You don't want to drag usually, even though you could. I just like to click down once here or there and just grunge it up. So that's another thing you can do, and you can repeat the layer again and maybe use a different blending mode, grunge that one up a little different than this one. That's a technique that would be really cool to use. I'm in Photoshop Elements 9, so I can create a new layer here and maybe get a brush, and I have my opacity kind of lowered, and so I am randomly making this layer mask so that some of the places are lighter than others. You see, so now when you do stuff like this, it makes it, one, much more unique, and two, it makes it so it isn't overpowering the photos. Remember, we want the eye to always go to the photos and not to the background paper. And so that is something that you can do to help keep the eyes on the photos and not on the background paper. And you know, if you wanted to see, if I duplicated this and applied a different blending mode and used to bring back in, painting white to bring back in, and so some of them are going to be blended with one kind of blending mode and some of them are going to be blended with another kind of blending mode. And so there's all sorts of things you can do to really make this paper unique and cool, but you have to have that artistic hand. Anyway, except for my one flub up, and I think that's because I included my original text layer in there when I was distributing it. This is my ideas for you, and I look forward to seeing what you can come up with, and I really hope this tutorial has inspired you to be creative.